Hello everyone and welcome to a new video. MC-Mura here, and in today's video we're gonna be checking out the basics for Guilty Gear Strive. Basically all of the stuff you will need to know to just start off with the game. Now obviously this is mostly a Street Fighter channel. I'm honestly not sure if I'm gonna be doing a full coverage of Strive or not. It's gonna depend on how much I like the game, but you know, let's give it a fair shot. And obviously we're gonna start with the basics, right? It's day one for us. Obviously I was on PC, so it is legit day one. I know some people had the game on PlayStation 5. Some people have review copies and already made a ton of content, but if you have waited for me or have waited for the day one in general, thank you very much, and let's get started. The first thing that you need to know about the game is that it is a back-to-block game, so it is kind of like Street Fighter in this regard. I will be tailoring most of this to players who are trying this out and they have a Street Fighter background, because obviously this is what my channel is known for. So obviously the game is back-to-block, right? You have to hold back-to-block, and forward is dashing, back is back dashing. One of the things that you can do in Guilty Gear Strive, and I would highly recommend as soon as possible, is to set up a dash button. You can set up a dash button in this game. I have set it up to the R2 button, and what it does is that as soon as you press R2, the character is gonna dash, right? And this is very good. This will make dashing a lot easier. It's gonna be a lot easier for you to execute forward dash, back dashing, air dashing, even dashing on the ground. If you just wanna run, you just hold the R2 button. So my first step is to immediately do that, right? Immediately assign a button to dashing. So that is the tip number one. Number two, let's check out the basic combo structure. Now in this game in general, we have 5 attack buttons. This is the jab or the lights. It's the square button if you're using the default configuration. Let's call it light, right? And we have the kick. Kick is gonna be the X if you are using the default button configuration. And obviously we have the slash. This is a medium slash. Think of this as the medium attacks also in Street Fighter, and the heavy slash is kind of like the heavy punch button, right? So we have light, medium, heavy, and kick. Like these are the most accurate kind of comparison that we can make. And also there is another button that's actually really important, that is called dust. Dust is R1 by default, and dust does many things. If you just press it by itself, it's an overhead, so this is an overhead attack. If you hold it, it will launch the opponent in the air. You can then press upward and you will go for an air juggle, right? If you press down and dust, it's gonna do a sweep. And if you press forward or backwards and dust, it's gonna do a throw. So we have a throw, overhead, low, depending on which one you are pressing. Obviously all of these are very important aspects of fighting game. So this is the basic button configuration for Guilty Gear. And again, I would highly recommend also assigning a dash button. So let's now check out the basic combo structure for Guilty Gear Strive. And typically combos in this game work like target combos. There are no links to talk about in Guilty Gear Strive, right? So it's not like Street Fighter when you're doing like medium punch into crouching medium punch or whatever, and you have to manually time it. In this game, it's just about pressing the buttons in the correct order and in the correct sequence, right? Typically, you're gonna do lights into a unique normal or like a command normal. For example, with Kai, it's gonna be like jab, jab, into forward jab, which is this elbow, right? So it's gonna be something like that, right? This is gonna be a 3 hit, and then you cancel into special, right? It's gonna be something like that. So we have lights into unique normal. Typically you can do the same with kicks as well, right? The same concept apply. But the thing about kicks is that you can combo them into the dust, right? Which is like the sweep. So what you wanna do sometimes is, for example, kick into sweep, but the sweeps in this game are special cancelable as well. So you do a combo like that, right? Like kick into sweep into the special move. This is a pretty good sequence. Maybe you wanna do the fireball for pressure or whatever. That also works. right? And then you can use this to meatism or wake up. That's an option. Another Gatling that is very good is doing medium slash into heavy slash, or say medium into heavy, right? This also works, and you can do something like crouching medium into crouching heavy, or like medium into crouching medium into crouching heavy, or medium crouching medium into standing heavy. It like there are many sequences. These are gonna vary a little bit character by character to find the optimal and most consistent route, but medium to heavies work. And obviously you can do medium into command normals as well, or even medium into dust. So lights only combo into command normals, lights or kicks combo into command normals and combo into sweeps, and mediums combo into heavies or combos into command normals or sweeps, right? These are the basic combo structure for Guilty Gear. So let's now talk about some of the universal mechanics that I believe are really important to note. And the first one is that the forward and light. It's like this is a very universal, unique or command normals. And these are all universal anti-air. So here if Melia is jumping, notice that we are getting a big counter message when we anti-air with this one. And it is important to know your anti-air conversion, right? So for example, here we can get stuff like that. It is important to practice these, so make sure that you are using these as an anti-air. Another thing to note is that the kick and the medium slash or the medium, both of these are jump cancelable normals. This is very good because you can use them in combos or in some of the set play or pressure elements. So for example, here with Kai, if you're near the corner, his forward and heavy slash does a wall bounce. So you can then get like a kick into a jump and then follow up with an air combo, right? Or maybe even mid-screen. You get the idea, right? You can get some wicked conversions out of these and get some combos like that. So it is important to know that the kicks are actually jump cancelable, right? And another one of the really important universal mechanics that are vital to the game are the burst. The bursts are pretty much a combo breaker mechanic that can be baited, and if they got baited you can get heavily punished for them. So for example, here we will set Melia to do a combo. So here she's gonna be doing a combo, and notice that I will do my burst to guard break, right? So let her do it again. If it comes out as a blue burst like that, notice the burst icon under Kai health bar, right? Once I use it, it will actually deplete, it will be gone, but then it will reset after some time. So the burst is done by pressing dust, which is the R1, and any attack button, right? If you press it together, you get the burst. This is your combo breaker and it is very important, but know that it can be baited. If your opponent baits you, it's gonna get blocked and you will get punished for it, so it's very important to use it and be wise when you wanna use it. And obviously it's a really big and important mechanic. Alright, so let's now talk about the Roman cancel system, and this is pretty much a sort of a cancel that can be used in multiple ways, and they are really important and an integral part of the game. This is the key mechanic of Guilty Gear. And Roman cancels typically don't have a shortcut button by default, so again this is one of these things that I will highly recommend going into the customization or the control menu and actually setting a specific button for that. I set it to the L1 button, but obviously you can do whatever makes you comfortable, but I will highly recommend using a specific shortcut button for this mechanic. Now, there are multiple types of Roman cancels, right? It's basically a screen freeze of sorts, right? And this can be used in many applications. One of them is like a V reversal. You use them defensively. So if here Melia is gonna be blocking, attacking, right? Let's reset it. Again, notice the bar at the bottom. It uses half of that tension gauge. Here I use the yellow one. It's kind of like my V reversal, and I got her off of me, right? Typically in this instant, if they happen to block it like that, you have the advantage. So let's do it again. Right, notice my button countered her. So if you happen to V reversal, or like yellow, I'm not gonna call it V reversal anymore, let's say it a yellow cancel, but you already know what it is. You are at an advantage, right? So you get to press first. So this is the first type. The second type is you can use it after you whiffed something. So let's say I whiffed a heavy slash. Oops, I'm gonna cancel and make myself safe. This is one of the uses. You can use it to say, let's say that you are gonna throw a fireball with Kai. Then you get to Roman cancel, run behind it, and use it as a shield, right? This is one of the more popular uses of this mechanic. You can also use it both offensively in combos and in some set play situation. So if you use it without hitting your opponent, so let's say you are not hitting them and you're not in hit or block stun, you will do a blue cancel. Notice that this one is colored blue, and this applies a slow down effect, and that slow down effect allows combos that were not typically possible to be possible. So for example, with Kai, I can do crouching light or crouching kick into medium slash, right? The medium slash is not coming out, it doesn't combo. But if I am applying the slowdown effect, notice these were 2 hits, right? So the slowdown effect is gonna be used for mix-ups. And remember when I told you that you can do a light into air jump? So what you're gonna be doing is something like this, and then use that to apply your pressure. So again, maybe jump into, or kick into jump, apply the effect, and then get some sort of pressure going. Here obviously you can apply all sorts of mix-up against your opponent. Maybe I will actually like Roman cancel down. Let me repeat my gauge. Right? And then get a conversion like that. So the blue Roman cancel is gonna be used to slow down time, allow you to pretty much set play your opponent or go for some sort of an offensive pressure sequence, right? This can't be done if they are hit or if they are in block stun, right? So if you are already hitting them, you're gonna get a red Roman cancel, which is a hit. I will get into that later. But if they are in the neutral, this is when the blue one come into effect, right? So that one again gonna be used for mix-up. Now let's talk about the final type, the ones that you're gonna be using in combos, and that is the red Roman cancel. This is gonna be the one you're most commonly gonna be using, and this is a combo extension. It's pretty much a V-trigger activation sort of thing that you can do that will allow you to complete your combos from various sources. So let's say for example with Kai I did a slide, right? Typically this is where the combo ends. If I do the Roman cancel, she will get juggled and then I will get to continue on with my combo, right? This is one of the ways. One of the important things about Roman cancel is that if you do dash and then Roman cancel, your character will kinda shift forward. So notice my input. I pressed R2, which is my dash, and then L1, and Kai moved forward with his cancel, or like back and L1, forward and L1. Or like on hit, I can do a far range slash into forward and L1. And he's gonna move closer to Melia to complete his combo. So for example, because of the cancel properties, it will actually allow you to convert from really far distances. So let's say for Kai, right here I'm way too far to get anything meaningful. Do the dashing cancel, and then you get some really good conversions, right? This is one of the key uses here. But one of the really cool things about it is that the actual hit of the Roman cancel itself, obviously the red one have like a hit to it that launches the opponent. This one actually causes a hard knockdown. So notice here when I'm doing it, Melia is not quick rising. Typically if I do the slash, right, she can quick rise, but with the red Roman cancel, she can't quick rise. And because she can't quick rise, you can use this to apply set play. So let's check out let's check out this example for Melia, right? She's gonna knock him down, apply some pressure, and then go for a combo of some sort, right? Let's show it one more time. right? She's gonna use the hard knockdown, go for a setup, and then get to continue with her combo. So you can even use it as a hard knockdown for set play, right? So maybe I'm gonna do something like that. Oops, which side was that? And you get some mix-up, and as you saw, that led to some massive damage. So there is a lot of depth with the Roman cancel system. It is one of the pillar and core mechanics of the game. Gonna take some time to get used to, but don't forget, I'm gonna rewind once more. We have the yellow one, which is a V-reversal. We have the purple one that we can use on whiff. We have the blue one that we can use to force mix-ups. And we have the red one that we can use for combos. All of them are executed by the same button, it's just that one is on block, one is on whiff, one is in the neutral, and one is on hit. So let's now briefly talk about the RISC gauge and talk about the wall mechanic. Now obviously there is a bar under the burst, it is empty right now, but it is called the RISC gauge, and RISC increases the more you are blocking. So now take a look at Milia's gauges. You will see that under the burst there is a purple bar, this is the RISC gauge, and as long as she is in block stun, it keeps going up until now notice it's flashing red. And what's pretty much gonna happen now is when the next time she get hit, it's gonna trigger a counter hit, and you're gonna get the big counter hit message. So for example, notice again, anytime the RISC is at maximum, any hit will trigger the big counter hit message, which obviously can mean some devastating results. Like notice how much damage she ate because of the RISC. So you don't wanna block everything, right? You wanna actually do something called faultless defense. And faultless defense, what it does is that it increases the pushback. So for example, let's say she is gonna be attacking me here. You do this and it uses a little bit of tension gauge. Notice that my tension gauge got reduced. Notice at it, I'm pressing two attack buttons and blocking, and my tension gauge is going down. But this is increasing the pushback. So she's gonna do the same sequence, right? Notice that I'm in block stun. But if I do the same thing, but I'm using the faultless defense, she didn't get the red one because I wasn't in proximity for her to get it. Her heavy whiffed, right? So it is important to faultless defense. This will give you some breathing room. If you play the game like Marvel, it's called bush block, or you can just want to call it bush block or faultless defense, however you want, right? But this is pretty much bush block, but notice that it consumes your tension gauge. Another thing that you can do is obviously you can use your V reversal or the yellow Roman cancel, right? Use this to get her off of you. Another thing is obviously you can use the burst. I said that previously that it's a combo breaker, but in reality it's more of a breaker of everything, to be honest. So you can use it like that, and again get her off of you and get to lower your risk a little bit. So you have multiple defenses options that you can do to get your opponent off of you a little bit, get some breathing room, and get back your risk gauge to a safer levels, right? Now the final mechanic of sorts in Guilty Gear Strive is the wall, and the wall is very interesting. When you hit someone in Guilty Gear, they will kinda go to the wall, notice, and after a couple of hits, she's gonna be stuck to the wall. So if I do a couple of more hits, I actually killed her. I didn't want to do that. Notice the state. She is kinda stuck to the wall, and once she's stuck to the wall like that, the next hit is gonna break the wall. You will transition to a new stage, and on that new stage, you will actually get something called the positive bonus, which pretty much the game is giving you some free gauge. So it's actually important to know how to do your optimal wall combos. For example, with Kai, I can get something like this, right, into DP for example. This will break the wall. Notice positive bonus, and look at the bar, I'm getting free tension gauge for pretty much not doing anything. Notice how quickly Kai's tension gauge is going up, and obviously the more you have gauge, you have more Roman cancels and you get to apply more pressure. And that is pretty much it for the core mechanics of Guilty Gear. Obviously there are more like stuff, like for example throws have whiff recovery like Street Fighter 5. So for example you can bait someone with a neutral jump on wake up. Obviously there are air dashes and everything, but I hope that I told you enough of the basics that you can wrap your head around the game and know how to start approaching it. Try things out in training mode. There is a fantastic mission mode that will teach you about most of the mechanics and everything, and I hope that you will really enjoy it. So far it's been a really fun game. If you have enjoyed this video, please leave a like or a comment, it helps the channel so much. I will be leaving a link to the Patreon page and the Discord server page in the description below. Thank you very much for watching and stay safe.